on, Mama? Oh, booger.
Oh, there's people here.
Good morning, you guys, and happy Thursday. And we have a very special guest once again.
And he wants to know, excuse me everyone, I want to know who think it's been a very long week. Also, I want to know who love him.
If you love me, give me a paw.
Spell love.
Laugh. L-A-W-F-F. Laugh.
Love.
Do you laugh me?
So good.
I want to know if you laugh.
Love. Love.
If you laugh me, then please give me a paw. I want to make sure that yeah, I'm being laughed, because otherwise I would just stay in my bed. Jerry loves you, Boogie.
Everybody
Lauren
loves you, Boogie.
Stacy
No.
loves you. Mel loves you. Courtney loves you. Wow, Boogie.
We're both wearing red.
I know, we're super dirty.
For the relationship conversation, we have extra
but we have a heater, so I'm gonna take mine off in a little bit.
Take it off, but I don't know. All right.
Boogie,
yes.
Okay.
I feel like it's been a very long week, and I want to share with you a legitimate train of thought I had yesterday, and I thought it was funny, and I wanted to share it with you simply because it's humorous. And so yesterday I was standing in the kitchen, and I was feeling a little bit tired, I guess is the right word. And I was standing in the kitchen, and I was making a lunch, and I thought, okay, this was a legitimate thought process. Okay, today's Wednesday, so that means tomorrow's Thursday. So tomorrow it will almost be Friday, and then the weekend is after that. And it was like, it was so, like, my thought was so ridiculous.
But why are you feeling this way?
I'm just feeling like, well, I mean, we're doing a lot of promoting for the 14-day transformation Kickstarter challenge, and you guys like don't see the behind the scenes, and there's a lot of stuff that goes on, and we're happy to do it, so don't take that as a complaint. Otherwise we wouldn't do it. But at the same time, it is a lot of work, and there's a lot of moving. There's a lot of moving pieces, and there's a lot of attention to detail, and there's a lot of. Then we have to put together the Kickstarter to make sure that you guys have an epic free challenge that you can do, and all this stuff. So, whenever we're in this, like, we're promoting something.
It's a marathon, but going at a sprint pace. Yeah.
Yeah, we're sprinting a marathon, and so we're happy to do it, but that's why I was feeling that way yesterday. And it's fine. And then this morning you were like, well, the weekend is no different than the week, because it's not like we work for corporate or anybody but ourselves, and we're happy to do what we do, and we love doing it, and we work on the weekends too. But it is different in a sense that the level of appointments changes. Yeah. Right? The structure in the schedule changes, and then we can take Boogie. We can take Boogie to Dog Beach this weekend.
Boogie Dog Beach is open with no leash.
No leash requirements.
You can let your pee-pee out, and we can play around with ball.
Play around with your pee-pee.
Speaking of, so we're gonna take you to Doggy Beach, because we've discussed that. Sergeant's favorite holiday, one of his favorite holidays, is Labor Day, because that's when all the tourists leave California, and that's when dogs can be on the beach without a leash on.
Emily, I can't find the paw, but I love you.
Oh, Boogie, you're getting so much love. But, okay, so we're going to take you to Doggy Beach. But you wanted to pop by today because you wanted to share with us some stuff. Boogie wanted
but
to
now
talk.
He's sleeping.
Boogie wanted...
Wait, listen to him snore. Then he stopped. heard me talking about you? He only snores when we're talking. It gets weird and suspicious if we're not talking.
He can sleep and he just woke
It's like
up.
a baby.
Okay,
it's like
you
a
ready
baby
to-
when you're driving the car and the baby's sleeping, and then when you stop, they're like,
Adults are the same way.
True. It's soothing. Okay. Anyways, it's a change in rhythm.
Like if we ever watch a movie, 95% of the time, I'm gonna fall asleep.
But then when it shuts off, I'm ready to watch.
And you're always like, you're falling asleep. I'm like, no.
She tries to lie like she's not falling asleep. I'm
That's
like,
why
I can
whenever
feel
we
you.
watch a movie, I just tell her, and I'm like, let's go to bed. That way I don't have to justify the fact that I'm giving myself permission to fall asleep within a
Every single time, let's watch a movie. Even if it's your idea, let's watch a movie. I'm like, okay, like how much of this are we gonna get through? If it's a really good movie, I don't care. I'll just let her like fall asleep.
Yeah.
But I'll be like, hey, you're falling asleep. No. Why are your eyes closed?
I know that you start to fall asleep because she starts to twitch.
You do too. That's how I know. I think everybody twitches. It's like the central nervous system shut down. And then your arm, boom. Okay. Anyways, we will get to today's topic eventually.
Today we're gonna be talking about non-negotiables, but Boogie wants to share with you guys his non-negotiables.
What are your non-negotiables, son?
My first one is must fun sleep with mamas.
Must fin sleep with mamas. Never cannot fin sleep with mamas.
No. My second one is cannot be left in the backyard for longer than 5 minutes because otherwise I start to cry. My third one
Nobody
is,
must fun eat my food but me.
yes, must fun eat at least 2 times a day.
With Querico.
And I have another one. My other non-negotiable is must fin play with the ball every day at least 2 times per day. At least 2 times per day.
I can't believe you all guys are still watching.
Does he have any other non-negotiables? Boogie, do you have any other ones?
If he thinks of any more, we'll tell you. I'm really impressed that there's still like 50 people watching and we haven't even gotten to the topic yet.
Oh, my other non-negotiable.
Yes, last one.
If mamas eat peanut butter, they must share it with me. That's a non-negotiable too.
Who do you think likes peanut butter more out of the two of us?
What do you mean 2 of us?
Or the 3 of us? I'm asking them.
Boogie.
Boogie
Boogie.
likes it most. Okay, let's get to today's topic though.
Non-negotiables, man.
Non-negotiables.
So
Within relationships, so when you have non-negotiables, that's great. When you're single, it doesn't matter. You can say no or yes to you or anybody and whatever, and no harm, no foul.
So-
if you are in a relationship and you have to say no to somebody or stick to your word or your guns or whatever, there's now another person and their feelings also involved.
yeah, but truthfully, okay, you want to go down? Okay, all right.
They think that Sergeant loves it more, you love it more, Boogie loves it, Boogie and Sarit. Why does nobody think that I love peanut butter?
I think because I've spoken a lot about how peanut butter used to own me, but actually she likes
True.
peanut butter not more than me.
I think I eat more peanut butter than you do.
I audited my relationship with peanut butter.
I audited my relationship with peanut butter.
I did.
She has, yeah. I have more control when it comes to peanut butter, so I think I actually eat more of it because I eat less. I eat fewer, more times, and when you eat it, like 1 jar is a serving.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. You're
Not
right.
anymore.
You're
Not
right.
even
I'm
close.
exaggerating.
Not even
But
close.
Sarit does love peanut butter. It's hard to say who likes it more.
Yeah. But if I was to get ice cream, it's always going to have peanut butter in it.
Yes.
100%. But I would say you like peanut butter more. Okay, but in all honesty, like...
I think you like it more. I just eat more. The reason you don't eat as much is because you love it so much.
Yeah, could be too.
I think you guys are right.
Yeah.
Sarit probably loves it more.
Maybe.
After Boogie.
But love is something that you experience on a regular basis. That's why I don't love peanut butter anymore. When you love something, you experience it on a regular basis. I choose not to. Right? Like I edited my relationship
I'm gonna
with
tell
peanut butter.
Peanut butter you don't love it anymore.
I think it tastes amazing. Right? I don't love it. Like, I don't love it because I don't think it needs to be in my kitchen cabinet. Like, it's not a part of my diet. Again, like I said, like if I get ice cream, yes, I will always choose the chocolate and peanut butter. 100%. Right? But I don't love peanut butter because it's not a part of my regular life. Things that I love are a part of my daily lifestyle. I love chicken, I love vegetables, I love my oatmeal, I love you, I love Boogie. Like, yeah.
I want somebody to make a chocolate chip peanut butter dough ice cream.
No. Maybe.
Like cookie dough, but peanut butter. Like balls of peanut butter.
What about cookie dough and just like Reese's cups?
Peanut butter cookie dough.
But then the cookie dough will overdo. Like.
But it will be peanut butter flavored cookie dough.
Maybe. I would like to experience it. If there's peanut butter and cookie dough, like, I don't know. I feel like the cookie dough might out-flavor the peanut butter. Do you guys get what I'm saying?
Nobody knows.
I don't know. Maybe one of y'all should make it sometime. But, anyways. So. Non-negotiables. Super important. And I would say, like, probably the difference between a relationship and a relationship is not being clear with regards to non-negotiables.
The difference between a relationship and a relationship?
And a relationship. Sorry,
relationship. Okay, yes. Every relationship conversation is the difference between relationships and relationships.
Yes.
Do you got the relationships? Sounds like a relationship diarrhea.
So non-negotiables, right? Do you mind looking up the definition of a non-negotiable just so that we can all be clear and on the same page? What does a non-negotiable mean?
Did I spell it right? Bam. What does it mean? I can't see
non-negotiable,
it. Not open for discussion or modification.
Okay, not open for modification. So now here's the thing.
You have to discuss.
If you don't have, right, I don't like the discussion part, but not open. So basically a discussion with regards to what are the things in my life that I'm not willing to modify no matter what, right? This is something that you have to be so clear with your partner because here's what's going to happen. And this is why if you don't talk about it, your relationship will end up turning to a relationship. Look, this is something that we always said and we will always say. The most important relationship that you will ever have is which one? The one with yourself. Now, if you are not clear with regard, for one, if you don't have non-negotiables, then your life has low standards. Right, so you can't expect an epic relationship with low standards, just saying. For two, if you're not discussing your non-negotiables, then the byproduct of that is going to be that you're going to end up cheating on yourself. Right? Because, for example, and that's why a lot of people who are on the right path with regards to this journey, like, a lot of times there could be breakups at the beginning, right? Because when they started dating the person, there were no non-negotiables. And if the person that they're currently dating is not understanding what now is a non-negotiable for them, what do you think is going to happen?
MJ, I want to clear up what do you mean by a fixed mindset? What are you talking about? That's having a fixed mindset. Because if it's what I think, then I think it's a really important comment actually to touch on. But having non-negotiables is a matter of setting boundaries.
Yes.
So that you can continue moving forward.
It has nothing to do with a fixed mindset, as a matter of fact.
I mean, and that's why I wanted to clarify too, and not just like bash a comment. But really, it's because we're growth minded, because we want to move forward, because we want to grow, because we want to be better, because we want better quality of life or more for ourselves or our family or our loved ones or whoever. We have to set boundaries, and creating non-negotiables is just a boundary, right? Like, I will not, like, refusal to participate in something is like a boundary, right? I'm choosing not to, and it could be a boundary within a day. It could be a boundary within your lifetime. It could be a boundary within a season. You know, like a boundary would be like, I'm not going to eat pizza on a Tuesday afternoon.
Yep.
Like, I will not negotiate it.
Or I will not tolerate having pizza being brought to my house.
Yeah, it's not a matter of having a fixed mindset. It's a matter of setting a boundary. And the reason we call it a non-negotiable and why there's no negotiation that will happen with it is because if you break a boundary, you allow things to come in that you know in your heart and in your soul are things that are not aligned
with your core values.
With your core values or the direction in life that you are wanting to go.
Yep. So you end up cheating on yourself.
So a non-negotiable could be a bedtime.
Yep.
No matter what, I'm going to bed at 10 p.m.
Yep.
No matter what. I'm not negotiating it. I'm not. Nope. There's no wiggle room.
Yeah.
Right? Just a matter of a boundary.
It's like, hey, baby, you want to keep watching the rest of the movie? Awesome. Like, my strict bedtime is 10 p.m. I'm a scoop. Right? So for one, you know, fixed mindset and growth mindset, if you're watching this show, you don't have a fixed mindset, because somebody who has a fixed mindset is somebody who's like fixated in their own ways and they're just unwilling to change, right?
Thinks they already know everything, right?
Yeah,
like
they already know everything. There's no way in hell, if you have a fixed mindset, you're gonna watch this show, right? Having a non-negotiable is setting clear boundaries and discussing it with your significant other. So for one, a lot of people, right, don't have non-negotiables because they haven't taken the time to define what are their core values, right? And, you know, that is basic average living, you know, not to sound harsh, but most people don't like have a discussion with themselves and say, what are my non-negotiables? Right? And, you know, that's why for me at the beginning of my health journey, when I was finally like on the uprise, right after years of this, then I was on the uprise, because initially when I dated my ex, I didn't take the time to set non-negotiables because I had standard average ways of living, right? Like anything went at any given time. Like I never really thought about it. There were non-negotiables, and then once I was actually like on the right path, and I was, man, like when I get into something, like I'm all in. Like I was so all in. Like finally I had all these like non-negotiables for myself, and she was not willing to tolerate it. So I was like, all right, cut that shit, right? Because I'm not willing to cheat on myself for the sake of you living a life with lower standards.
Pleasing somebody else, which is perfect because I want to circle back around because MJ is saying, meaning if you don't want to open your mind to another person's quirks and values, it's best to stay on your own. Not necessarily true either, because that just means that's not the right person for you. You can have boundaries, you can have this checklist of things that you want, and guess what? The more strict you are in who you spend your time with or who you want to be in a relationship with as a significant other, the more likelihood you will be on your own for longer, because that means there's less of those people, right? So that's okay, and I do agree that you would be better on your own. And when you reach the point where you're actually okay being by yourself is normally when the person who's ready at the right time in their own life, and you have become the right person ready in your own life for them. Right? You're no longer desperate for it. You're not searching for it. You're not trying. You're working on yourself. which also is growth minded. And, you know, a lot of the reasons that adults seem to lose themselves and not really know who they are or what they want and feel kind of lost is because they just go with the flow, which at times is good. But if you go with the flow too much, then you find yourself kind of living this person's life on this day or at this event, or living this person's life at this time, and doing what other people want, or saying yes to things you don't really want to say yes to because you don't want to make somebody feel bad because you said no. And then that's a matter of your own self and personal leadership. So these are good things, and I'm glad you're bringing them up for sure. But we're really big on growth mindset versus fixed mindset. And everything that we try to share with you guys in these videos based off of our experience, based off of the people we've coached, and what we see and what we hear as well from our mentors and our coaches is all growth mindset. And that's why you're here. And we learn a lot from these too. This allows us to think. Sometimes stuff comes out of my mouth. I'm like, where did that come from? I don't know. But I'm grateful for you. And we've talked about how when one of us just does a video without the other, it's weird because we can't feed off of each other and have thoughts come up because of something that you said. But it's really a matter of knowing who you are and then aligning with the other people, because everybody's different. And I truly believe that not every person is meant to like or get along with or agree with or hang out with every other person. You can be really nice. I believe most people are good people. I believe most people want to help other people. But because we have preferences, because we have differences, we're not always going to get along or agree. Because our lifestyles are different, because we prefer different things, right? I don't want to go see an action movie because I don't fucking like action movies. I don't want to go see a scary movie. I do like action movies. I don't want to go see a scary movie because I don't want to pay to be fucking scared. I don't enjoy that. So I'm not going to go see a scary movie with people who want to go see a scary movie. Yeah. Right? And it's not a matter of you're good or you're bad or you're better or you're worse. We're just different. No person is better than another person. No person is higher up or cooler than or more popular or whatever. We're all just different. Yeah. Right? And we all have our own influence. And it's beautiful, but when you really truly stick to who you are, this has totally gotten off the topic of relationships, but when you truly stick to who you are at your core, first you have to establish what the heck that is. But when you establish who you are at your core, and then you say, I'm just not going to have wiggle room for the things that don't align with my soul and what I believe and what I stand for and what I love. And when I meet the right people who do align with that, great, those are my people. Those are my people. Yeah. And I don't have to worry then about saying no to people because they get it. Right? Yep. It takes a while to build that.
And if they don't, they're not meant to be. So, you know, the truth is that you have, for one, you have to set non-negotiables. You have to be very clear about it with yourself, because obviously if you're not clear about it, if you're not taking the time to set your non-negotiables, then guess what? There's no way in hell you can talk about it, right? So like, you know, after I broke up with my ex, my non-negotiable is I will never, ever in my life date somebody who smokes, date a drinker, and date somebody who is less into fitness than I am. They have to be at a higher caliber than me or the same. But for me, I strive for a higher caliber, because if we're the same, then that means that you're not into it as much as I am, because it was that important to me, right?
It seems like you guys are loving this conversation, which is great. I feel like I'm learning and I'm having fun in this conversation.
So you have to set these standards for yourself, right? Like you have to be clear with yourself, because when the right person shows up, you know, you talk to them about it. Or, you know, when you're in a relationship, you need to talk about it, because if you don't talk about it, what's going to end up happening is that you're going to, for one, evolve apart. You're going to always argue, right? Like, baby, why do you have to wake up at 6 a.m. on a Saturday morning instead of sleeping in to go work out, right? Like, no, bitch. Like, this is what I love and this is what I have to do to better myself. I don't need to explain myself for that, right? But like, these are things that have happened to me, like, you know, sleeping in and eating a fatty breakfast on a Saturday. No, dude, like, fuck this bullshit. I ain't about that life, right? So the reality is that if you don't talk about it, right, then what ends up happening is there's going to be arguments a lot of times, which is a waste of time and a waste of energy, right? Arguing is nothing but a waste of time and a waste of energy. Last night we were talking about something, which is an amazing topic. It just came to me.
MJ is actually asking a very valid question that I think a lot of people would have or be concerned with, or just wonder, curiosity. And somebody also actually like replied to one of our stories one day on this same topic with a very assholey comment that said, so you're saying if my wife's values and behaviors don't align with mine, then we should get a divorce? And I'm like, well, for one, you don't need to be an asshole. For two, I'm not saying to get a divorce. I will never tell anybody what they have to do with their own life. That is not my place. Right. However, and MJ is asking, just for anybody who's wondering, what happens if you are meant to be together, but there are many things that do not align along the way after giving your non-negotiables? My question would be, are you meant to be together?
Yep. Or is that just the story that you tell one another?
Because you're meant to be with who you choose to be with. It is not chosen for you as your fate for who you have to be with. And now I don't even want to just speak directly to you. I want to speak to anybody who wants to listen. The truth is, the hardest thing at the time would be that result, to get a divorce, to break up with somebody, of course. Mm-hmm. And again, I'm never going to tell you what you have to do with your life because that's not my place. I truly believe if somebody is genuinely happy, regardless of whether I agree or disagree or think it's cool or not, it's not my business. I just want people to be happy.
Yep.
However, the easiest decision in the long run is to be with somebody that's values align with yours. And now when a lot of people get together, they don't know who they are. They're not okay with themselves fully 100%. And so we end up getting in a relationship that is good for the person that we are being in the moment, which is not truly ourselves. And then when we then expose ourselves, or we come out of that shell, or we decide, wow, I need to make some changes in my life because I'm not happy, and the real us comes out, it doesn't align with that person. Right? Unfortunately, but it's the truth. And so what I would say is, it makes it extremely difficult for you to go where you want to go in life if the person you spend the most time with in your life is not on the same path. It's like, hey, let's go on a hike. You go this way and I'll go that way.
And if you keep telling one another that you're meant to be together when you want to keep on going on different paths, then you're choosing to be imprisoned. And, you know, the question that you need to ask yourself is
maybe if it feels that way. I mean, a lot of times
I know that for me, I'm very aggressive with the way that I think, right?
No.
So, and I'm unapologetic about it, and I'm really harsh, and that's why, like, I had to make a lot of very hard decisions, and that's why, like, I have an easy time talking about it, because I have done all that, because for me, I'm so in tune with, you know, I always have conversations with myself, right? I'm so clear on my path, and my biggest non-negotiable is don't ever do something that's going to basically like get you off track, right? Unless it's a sacrifice, right? So like if let's say Erin and I are invited to an event, and this is a conversation that we had last week that is not aligned with who we're becoming, we are gonna say no to it, right? And I will say no to it. And for a second, like we had like a quick argument about it, not argument, it was heated, but it was a conversation because we have agreed on the same thing. But for me, my biggest non-negotiable is never cheat on yourself. because I cheated on myself for so long, right? And I've also been cheated by people. And something that I realized a pattern and a trend after having experienced being cheated on, whether it's by other people or myself, is that every time I get cheated on, it lowers my confidence in myself, and it makes me feel like shit, and it makes me self-sabotage. So I chose to live a life after all these cheating that happening from other people, from myself included, to protect myself, right? To protect my time, to protect who I spend my time with, to protect how I show up each and every day. And
the energy you give.
Yes. All of that is being 100% protected. So if there's ever a decision that will require me to not stay protected from the path that I'm choosing to be on, it's an easy no. Like, it's an absolute non-negotiable, right? So yes, like, I've had to make a shit ton of sacrifices. I had to audit so many relationships. In fact, I told Erin, like, there's nobody from my previous 10 years other than my family who I still talk to. Nobody, not one single person from when I was 21. Why? Because I had to protect myself, because I'm so clear on where I'm going, and I'm like, is this for me, I need full alignment. If there's no full alignment, out. Did I disappoint? Yes, I may have disappointed people. Did I hurt people? Yes, but it is not being selfish, it's being selfless. Because do you think we're going to be able to help 61 people right now in this very moment? Aside from all of the other things that are happening, and this is, by the way, just the beginning, had I not made these decisions, 100% no. Because if I wake up, right, with a stone in my heart, I don't know if you guys ever, like, when you're in tune, like your feelings, like, you're very in tune and in touch with your feelings, but if I ever feel like there's, like, not even a stone, but like a tiny pebble on my heart, I need to release and toss that shit out because it weighs me down.
It's a beautiful quality, by the way. You should release it when it is a tiny little pebble before it becomes a fucking boulder.
Yeah. But most people, and I guarantee you that at least half of you guys are living your life with a stone in your heart. And that's why you're always fucking scared. Because when you make it a habit to release these stones, it feels so good afterwards, right? But the question is, how do you want to live your life, right? And this is what drives me nuts, like, living in this country, is that this is a country where if you're born in the United States, you are giving freedom. Yet so many people, like, most people are choosing to imprison themselves, whether it's the life that they're living, the relationship that they're in, right? Like, choosing to believe things like, and MJ, this is not calling you out, but this is what I used to say with my ex, and we belong together, blah, blah, blah. I used to say but the reality is that
I think she was talking about somebody else. But
yeah, no, but either way, it doesn't matter, right? Like, the words that you use, right, is what you believe, right? And people don't understand that, right? So people end up choosing to imprison themselves, whether they like it or not, right? Like by saying things like, we belong together, when you really don't. Like, I don't have money, instead of, how can I, right? Or I was told that I'm meant to be fat. Dude, like, you are choosing to imprison yourself, right? And it drives me fucking nuts, right? So the problem with most people...
Don't grab the mic.
The problem with most people, right, is they're just like, dude, like, you're the problem and you're the solution. And you need to have a very hard conversation with yourself and ask yourself, is the life that I'm living right now, right, is it me creating my own problems, or is it me choosing to be the solution? Because remember this, you guys, remember this, we're only here on this planet for such a short amount of time. And if you guys are not even realizing, like, what's happening in global warming, you guys, the sky in California has been looking like crazy over the last 3 days. It looks like the world is coming to an end. Would you want to keep on living your life with a stone in your fucking heart? For what reason? We're all going to be gone by the end of the day. I know that I'm going to be gone, so I'm doing everything that I can to leave a legacy for when I'm gone, right? To change all these millions of lives. It's going to happen. I don't freaking care, right? So I'm going to do every single thing that I can to live as long as possible so that I can create it and I can see it. And so that it can be there long after I'm gone. Meanwhile, people are having a hard time making easy decisions. I'm like, dude, it's weighing you down. Let that go. Like, why are you wasting your fucking time? However, I get it. Because when I broke up with my ex, I used to waste so much time. It drives me nuts. It took me 6 months. I had to go to therapy to fucking, build the guts. I needed somebody like myself right now to tell me the truth. Look, you're being a fucking pussy. It's not adding any value to you. You need to cut that shit out. How will life be different and how will life be better afterwards? But people are scared to hurt somebody. Tell them the fucking truth. I'm like, no, relieve them. Tell them the truth.
The first thing that happens is we're so desperate to be loved, and we're so desperate to be in a relationship and create a family and have somebody to care for us and love on us and snuggle with us and be the big spoon, and we'll just go for anybody because it's always good in the beginning. And then because you're scared to say what you need to say because you might make somebody feel bad, you stay stuck in the relationship. And people are in unhappy relationships all around the globe. And it's so unfortunate. But it always comes back to you having a good relationship with you.
Yep.
Always. Yep. 100% of the time. I feel like there was 4 things I wanted to say in there and I forgot them all because I didn't want to stop you because you were going and I forgot I was here.
Yeah, man. I got passionate because it brought me back to myself 10 years ago. And I was like, man, nothing in life is worth it if it's weighing you down. The most valuable asset you can ever give yourself is time, right? And that's why you have to make it an obligation to spend your time with people who add value to you. That's why you have to make it a non-negotiable to take care of yourself. Because if you're not taking care of yourself, then you are limiting the amount of time in which you have to experience all of that and more. These are the important things, right? And by the way, when you're so clear on your non-negotiables, what you're going to notice is everything that will come to you afterwards will be better because you attract who you are. So if you have low standards, you're going to attract low standards people. If you choose to let certain people like that go, right? The people that you will meet along the way are going to be people who have higher standards. Because you attract who you are. It's the law of magnetism.
We're very fortunate in a sense that our mission is the same. So let's speak to the couple or the single person who will be in a relationship where their significant other's mission is not the same.
That's a great question.
Because you can still have just as good of a relationship.
Yep.
We are friends with some very successful couples and husband-wife or wife-wife or whatever. They don't do the same thing. Right? For work, let's just talk about. They don't do the same thing. They're not passionate about the same line of helping other people, right? It's like, yes, we want to help other people, but I like to help them in this way, and I'm very passionate about these things, and I like to help people in this way, I'm very passionate about these things. You don't have to be doing the same thing to be supportive of one another.
You have to set your non-negotiables with regards to your mission, though, right? I'm thinking about Jeff and Karen, for example, right? One is on a huge mission with regards to AA. The other one is,
education
right.
and real estate, yeah.
Right. So they have their non-negotiables, right? And they support one another with their non-negotiables. However, they're very clear about it, and that's why they raise one another up. Just you can have different interests, and like
even we have some different interests.
Yeah, like you go surfing on Saturdays and I don't, right? And I'm like, baby, go. Like, but you have to be clear about it, right? Like you have to have a conversation with regards to it. And the reason why people, end up having arguments, it's because it was never brought up before. And, if this is a same-sex relationship, then the female is like already going into the conversation like, what's happening? Why do you want to have this conversation with me?
You said we need to talk.
Yeah, because we never do, right? So they're like, you're changing. Something about, you're not the same person you were when we met. Yeah, bitch, I'm not. I'm evolving because I'm growth mindset.
Somebody put a blanket on her. She's on fire.
This is me talking to all my exes. This is me telling all my exes, look, this is what I had no balls to tell you back in the day when I did. I broke up with them, so I was like, we're done.
It's 100%.
I was like, I don't even need to argue with you about it. We're done.
The only way you get on the same page is to use your words. We have language.
Yes.
We have communication for a reason. You have to use your words and say, this is what I want. If you're good with it, amazing. Let's figure out how to make it work. If you're not good with it, I don't know if I'm good with this.
Right.
And what's my favorite thing, we have a really good friend, and I was like, man, I love this person because she is very much like, and we created a new topic out of it literally before we fell asleep last night, was it's argument versus confrontation versus conversation.
Yes, that's what it was.
Confrontation versus conversation. When you're going to approach somebody that you would like to speak with them about something that could be a sensitive topic, and you know that that person doesn't take things personally and they're going to hear what you have to say and then they're going to give their response, you are not scared or overwhelmed or anxious to go into that conversation. You know this person's just going to hear me for what I'm saying and they're not going to take anything personally, and it's going to be a conversation.
I wonder if she's listening. I hope that she's here.
Maybe. When you approach somebody who takes things personally, is always defensive, always has an excuse, always wants to say, but this, but that, you get anxiety to approach them and it becomes confrontational, not conversational. And so I would say for you, if you haven't read the 4 agreements, you have to read the 4 agreements. Rule number 1, do not take things personally. People don't say or do things to you in a direct reflection of you. Most of the time. There's always 2 sides to a coin. But because the United States of America is very sensitive in this aspect too, where it's like,
gosh,
like take, okay, let's say you're in a gym. I've been in this situation before. There's a member that really stinks, like all the time. They're like repulsive. Members complain about it. Like all the employees know this person stinks. Like you want to tell them about it. But if that person doesn't take things personally or offensively, you can tell them, hey, I just want to like bring this to your awareness, heads up, like this is what's going on, and know that that person's gonna be like, oh shit, I didn't even know, thank you for telling me, whatever. If that person takes things personally, it's gonna be like, they're gonna be embarrassed because they're self-conscious, they're gonna be embarrassed, which, I mean, that is an easy thing to be embarrassed about, but if you're good with yourself, it's more of like a, oh shit, I'm so sorry, like I'll totally fix it, like I didn't even know, whatever.
You might say thank you.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I didn't realize that. I appreciate it.
That's how you know you're in a good place with you.
Yes.
With yourself.
You don't take shit personally. You're like, hey, I'm human. Fuck. I stink. Fuck. Like, I fart. Fuck. Whatever. Like, this is why we're friends with older men, by the way. Like,
we were talking about yesterday.
Our close friends are all men in their 60s and up. Why? Because for one, they have wisdom, right? So they're adding a lot of value to our life. And for 2, they don't give a shit about stupid things. They're like, cut the crap. Let's talk about it.
They've lived long enough
Yep.
to be done with the bullshit.
Yep.
And they're like, right? Like Sandy Kellen from the founder of X Endurance. It's like one of the coolest people to us in our like life and in our world. Jeff, who you just mentioned, also like just family, and we get along with them so well because they're just like, you were saying, I think that they like us because we understand that I would say at a younger age than
because
most
we execute life the same way that they do, right? Like they don't care about the small, simple things that weigh so many people down.
Simple things, yes. The small, insignificant things.
Insignificant, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. If I have to, if I want to tell you, hey, can you take the trash out? You're gonna be like, I always take the trash out. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Like, conversation versus confrontation. Anyways, that's totally a different topic, but we were talking about it.
Yeah. So
look at
what?
Oh, Bree. I thought it was Brian. Bree goes, oh my God, I'm a 60-year-old man.
Amazing.
So glad you're here.
I love it. So, let's leave you guys with some actions to take for one. We hope that you enjoyed today's conversation. Give us a thumbs up if you're enjoying these relationship conversations.
And if you're watching this on YouTube and you enjoyed any minnow fraction of a second, click the subscribe button right now. I'm not going to say any more. Click the subscribe button. Waiting. Thank you. Now click the notification button. I'm just kidding. Okay. Yes! To all the thumbs up. Stacy and Michelle and Lauren and Tiffany.
Good. Happy to.
I worked in a long-term care facility. And there's this old man who always, like, his favorite part of the day was when I had to wipe cream on his butt. And I was like, you're so sick. But it was kind of funny. They don't give a shit.
They don't. Because truthfully, you guys, like, life is too short. It really is. If today was the last day of your life, because it could be for all of us, right? Then, like, how would you choose to live it? Would you choose to, like, keep something, like, heavy on your heart, or would you choose to release it? Right? Like, release it. And that is why most women struggle with weight loss, by the way, because you hold on to so much energy and things that you end up sabotaging yourself with eating shit. And that's why you can't keep up doing things, because you have anxiety, right? You have depression because you're not listening to your intuition. 99% of you guys watching this, you know that eating broccoli is better than eating Pop-Tarts. You know that. But why you ain't doing it?
Because Pop-Tarts are delicious.
It's not because you're not motivated. It's not because you need to be more inspired. It's like, no. You need a kick in the butt from somebody who will tell you the truth so you can do the things that scare you, right? Like, commit to yourself, make yourself a priority so you can stand up for yourself. It's really that simple.
We used to say when I was a kid, booyah, grandma. I don't know why we put grandma at the end of it. My brother did it. My older brother did it, so I just copied him.
It's simple, but it's hard because it is emotional, right? And people, like, think that emotions are these terrible things, right? Like fucking Instagram era. Like, no. Like, it's not about smiling in front of a camera all the time. And that's why I think I truly struggle with just taking photos, because I'm like, dude, if I don't feel like smiling, I don't want to smile, right? Like,
so don't make a post about it.
Right. But like,
you'll probably still click on it. Why is she so mad?
Yeah. So the reality is, you guys, is that because your time is so limited on this planet, you have to protect yourself, right?
Wear a condom.
Yeah, just
all
like,
of you.
Just like when you have sex, you have to protect yourself. You know, just like your password for your email has security codes to protect you, you have to protect yourself, right? Like in technology, there's all these things to protect you. Meanwhile, you're never protecting yourself. You're just like letting things in, and you're keeping it there too. Like women just keep it. It's like you take it in,
it's
and
like
you
cancer.
choose to keep it. Oh, it's awful,
Kills
awful,
you from the inside.
Right? So like you need to protect yourself, right? Like anything that is not positive, right? Like anything that you're consuming, be it mental, emotional, physical, whatever. If it's not good for you, protect yourself. Avoid that shit. That's why. Like, we'd never bring pizza to the house. Why? I'm protecting myself. My body.
Never say never.
But for.
Never say never.
I mean, yeah, we don't do it. But anyways, like, look. Like, it's me protecting my health. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be eating pizza if pizza is your thing, right? But, like, have an intention, right? Most people are like, I eat pizza because there was no food left, so I chose to get a delivery. Really? So you chose to treat yourself like crap because you didn't take the time to plan and prepare? What about you, like, getting a rotisserie chicken or something? But anyways. Like,
okay, I'm out of coffee. Show's over.
So you gotta protect yourself, right? And you need to sit down with yourself and have a conversation. Like, what are the things that are important to me and what are the things that I need to protect, right? If you're like, okay, I need to protect my present state every single day. Okay, what do you need to do in order to do that, right? Like, maybe you need to meditate, maybe you need to read books, maybe you need to listen to whatever, right? Okay, I need to protect my health. Okay, what does that look like? Or, you know, I need to protect my schedule. How many of you guys go into the day like not even knowing what your day looks like? And you wonder why you have anxiety? You're not protecting your day. Anything can happen. Shit's gonna happen anyways, right? So you have to protect yourself. You have to get clear on what are the things that you're going to do in order to protect yourself. Those are your non-negotiables, right? Some people will, the ones who truly love you and care about you being your best you, they will tolerate it and they will support you. The ones who don't, guess what? That's the first sign that they're just not meant to be in your life, right? Somebody who truly loves you will want the best for you regardless of how it makes them feel.
Those who matter don't care. And those who care don't matter.
Yeah. And if you're in a current relationship and you haven't already set clear boundaries, then you need to have a conversation. Like, look.
Figure out what they are. Figure out what you want first.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, I'm
You
lost.
didn't listen. Yeah, so you need to protect yourself. You need to set your non-negotiables, right? What are the things in your life that you need to protect, right? And your action steps are going to be your non-negotiables. And then you need to talk about it with your significant other. I knew that Erin was the right person for me because when we had our few initial conversations, I already knew in my head what were on my non-negotiables after making all the mistakes that I made with other people, right? I'm like, check, 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 check. Okay, like, great, amazing, right? But people, especially women, were so emotional, but you also have to be like logical. Like, how are you going to protect yourself? Or are you just going to fall for these like initial feelings, right? Like, when you date anybody at the beginning, it's great, right? It's the newness of something. When you wear a new pair of shoes, it's amazing. Everything feels fresh, right? But 2 years later, you're like, it's beat up. Are you still going to wear it? It's up to you, right? But you have to set some non-negotiables because by the end of the day, if you don't, then there's only one person that you're hurting, and that's yourself.
No, maybe two people. Because if they're not meant for you, you're also not meant for them.
Yes.
So stop hurting them.
Yes.
And unfortunate, this is the last thing, like we've been on here for literally an hour.
Oh shit.
And and a lot of times you don't really know if it's going to be the right person until you actually live with them. It's easy to hide things when you don't live with somebody.
Yes.
Now, there are red flags that you can find immediately to be like, yeah, I'm not going to move in. Sometimes people see the red flags and then they move in anyways, which is just dumb. It's careless.
Well, it's discipline.
But it's carelessness.
It's like falling for a craving because you had it.
It's carelessness. But if you don't see any red flags and you move in, still be aware.
Yeah.
It's easy to hide shit when you don't live with somebody. And be sure you're not the person hiding shit. Because it never works. It never works. Yeah. Everything out on the table.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okie dokie.
Okay, well, we hope you enjoyed today's conversation. And speaking of which, tomorrow is guest interview day, and we have an incredible guest in tomorrow's conversation.
Is it Cassidy?
Yeah,
oh,
we have CrossFit Games athlete, Cassidy Lance. Very recently, she had her very first baby. So, you know, like, we're going to talk about like life goals. We're going to talk about her relationship with her significant other,
Wife.
and
With
pregnancy, and in a same sex, you know, like relationship, and also like evolving through life, right? And evolving through your body, like being such a high level athlete, and then, you know, going through all the changes that your body goes through pregnancy, and also like non-negotiable habits that you have to talk about with your significant others in order, for one, make it to the top, stay at the top, right? And then for two, to evolve through life together, especially once you bring another human being into the life. So it's gonna be an epic conversation, and we really hope that you're gonna join us for that. We will drop the link later today to the Zoom conversation. Remember, the guest interviews are at 6 a.m. Okay, so be sure to check it out. Other than that, 2 more things.
Yeah, you'll want to be there tomorrow. Look up Cassidy Lance. Like, you'll want to be there. There's so many different aspects of her that are relatable in a relationship. For those of you who are girls who like girls, hashtag girls who like girls. She is married to a woman and they had a baby. So that situation, she has been a very high level athlete, like Sarit already said. So there's a lot of elements to this that are going to be very relatable and amazing, or that we can learn a lot from. And then we have the 14-day Transformation Kickstarter Challenge that starts on September 21st. Registration ends September 20th at 1 p.m. Pacific time.
So you got 10 days to register in case you haven't already. Anybody on our team, if you're here, if you can please drop the link, improveviewsolutions.com/Kickstarter, improveviewsolutions.com/Kickstarter. And then also there is less than 48 hours left in order for you to order our merch. This is our very first round. Again, it's all pre-orders. So if you haven't yet, make sure to do so, because
Closing it out Saturday night.
And shipping and basically putting it all together next week. And you know, everybody who ordered their stuff, a lot of you guys ordered some stuff, which
Dad
we're
shirt
super.
is still in the lead, by the way.
Is it?
Yep.
Which we're super.
I'm going to
stoked
model
about.
the dad shirt. Allow me to introduce you to. I wore pants today. It was that cold this morning. It's the first time I've worn pants in a while. This is the dad shirt. Okay, it comes in 3 different colors. Gray, what is this, maroon?
Yeah.
Which is my favorite, and white. And in case you're wondering, I'm about 5'6", 135 to 140 pounds, and this is a small. So you can gauge your size based off of that, and dad shirt is in the lead.
Yep.
Just saying.
Cool. So that's that, you guys. We hope that you enjoyed today's conversation and you found value in it.
We love you guys.
Have a great day. We will see you tomorrow, 6 a.m. with Cassidy Lance.
Bye.
Bye, guys.